for Post State. It'll be Garrett Stout to lead things off. River Iverson. It'll be followed by Andrew Coverdale. Andy Gordon's in the cleanup spot. Matt Luss, the number 5 hitter, will be followed by Jack Van Camp, Lincoln Keenels, A.J. Gaden, and Cade Hinkle to round out the order here for Post State in game number 2. Looking for that second win and to advance to the state tournament as we are just ready for baseball here. It's 7:20 on the dot. No more commercial breaks. Let's get right to game number 2 here. Post State looking for that sweep of Harrisburg. And we will keep things, we'll keep an eye on things as Brandon Valley just hit a tying home run on the bottom of the 8th. So that game is still in danger of potentially seeing a whole 9-inning games. And that's tough for for those teams to be playing. Good for everybody else as the first pitch is over for strike 1 to Garrett Stout at 7:21 as we are underway here in game number 2. Stout had the walk-off single in game 1. He leads off here in game number 2 with a lead-off single into left field, going the other way with it. And that's a good start for Post State. It took him 5 innings to get that first hit in that first game, and 1 batter and 1 hit in game number 2. And he'll bring up River Iverson, who went 1 for 3 in game 1.
77 degrees at game time here at Historic Hyde Stadium. A great night and a great crowd. If you got some free time here on this Monday night and you're looking for something to do, I tell you what, this is about as good a baseball as you're going to see at this level anywhere in the upper Midwest. So spend some time, come out and support the 8s, because you're going to see a lot of emotion and a lot of cheering and just a lot of good stuff going on from the hometown crowd tonight.
0-1 is fouled away. Stout was off of the pitch. He'll have to return back to first. The count is quickly 0-2 here to River Iverson. We'll go through the defensive alignment for Harrisburg after Iverson's at-bat. Post State, the only high seed to win so far. There's only been 2 finals, but Mitchell almost had a upset in game 1. They're still playing in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Stout will not go, and it's taken outside for ball 1. And it's now a 1-2 count to Iverson. Nobody out here in the top of the first with a runner on first base. Post State didn't have their first base runner until the 4th inning. Excuse me, to 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd, got their first base runner in game 1. Pickoff attempt and back in safely as Chase Mason over at first base. He's still the leadoff hitter for Harrisburg in game number 2. Here's the 1-2 from Simmons to Iverson. Instead, another check over at first. So have a 3-man umpiring crew, but John Krogstrand joins the umpiring crew as Brandon Sarda had just 1 game. Here's Stout will take off again. Iverson's going to get hit with a pitch, and he's now first and second with nobody out. And another day, another hit by pitch for River Iverson.
His 10th on the year. We talked about the fact that Iverson was by far and away the team leader in hit batters last year, and had to kind of come from behind this year. Only in the last couple of weeks has he risen towards the top and now has assumed the team lead. He is, like we said, 10th time he's gotten hit this year. Matt Lusk right behind him with 8.
Here's Andrew Coverdale. Coverdale went 1 for 2. He was the tying run in the bottom of the 6th inning. That will get away from the catcher and Long, just went right off of his glove, and both men will move up 90 feet. Now 2nd and 3rd with nobody out, and Post State is threatening to score here early on in this ball game.
Brandon Valley and Mitchell are going to the 9th inning, John, 2-2.
You know, that the other 6 teams, and obviously only 3 will win out of those 6 teams, but other 6 teams got to be loving that they're going to extra innings in game 1, because that's going to hurt a lot of pitching going forward. Here's the 0-1. That one is over, and it's now 0-2 to Coverdale.
Yeah, and again, we'll go back to that pass ball of Long's. Long's a solid catcher. Long is a college prospect as a catcher, and he's allowed multiple pass balls and wild pitches, and so it's a bit of a surprise that he's had the defensive lapses today.
0-2, a sharp line drive into right field, and that is down for a base hit. 1 run will score. The other one in Iverson is held up at first, but Post State They waste no time getting on the board here in game number 2. An RBI single for Andrew Coverdale. And it is first and third with nobody out and a 1-0 lead. And here's Andy Gordon, who tied the ball game up at the bottom of the 6th and has a chance to add to the second run for Post State again here in game number 2.
And Post State's doing what Post State does. They don't try to hit the long ball. They don't try to do too much with it. Both base hits have been the opposite way. Stout left-handed going to left field. Coverdale right-handed going to right field.
And Gordon will slice the first pitch down the right field line and really foul. And it's 0-1. That would have driven in Coverdale as well. That could have been a 3-0 lead for Post State. Coverdale read that perfectly, too. There's no way that the right fielder in Evans was going to be able to make that catch. But instead, it's just a long strike. And it is an 0-1 count to Andy Gordon. From the stretch, Simmons delivers the 0-1 to Gordon. Outside corner, and it's now 0-2. Shadow's not going to be a factor just yet. There is one pole that's, it's not very wide of a shadow in front of, in between the mound and home plate. But here in probably about another 15 minutes, shadows will get to be rather difficult for these hitters. That one will get away from the first baseman and Mason, and coming in to score is Iverson. Diving back in was Coverdale. Mason and Chase Mason had to try and jump over Coverdale to get the ball, and Iverson read it perfectly, and he scores, and it's now 2-0.
Yeah, ball kind of just short hopped Mason, and when Coverdale came in, he dove back in head first, and the ball kind of skipped over the top of Coverdale, and he and Mason got kind of tangled up, and the ball skipped past and only got away from Mason just probably 3-4 feet, but he was on the wrong side of Coverdale, and Iverson scores standing up.
Count is now 1-2 to Gordon. That one hit the dirt, and a good block by Long to keep Coverdale at first. You usually see Coverdale getting such a good read that there's no chance, but Long had it perfectly where Coverdale couldn't take off. And Gordon will foul it off twice as he chopped it foul right at home plate, and the backswing ended up knocking it back to the screen. Well, it looked like it up here. I think that's what happened. Count is now 1-2.
Yeah, big inning for Post State. If you can get a couple of early runs, especially against a pitcher like Will Simmons, that is a huge opportunity.
That one will get away, and Coverdale is on with the pitch. He's going to go from second over to third. The throw is going to get to the shortstop, and Coverdale is safe at third as he was off with the pitch to second. It got towards the backstop, and he did not slow down. White was yelling. Coach White was yelling from third base, keep coming, keep coming. The throw was well wide, and thankfully the shortstop and Kogel was there, someone on the side to back it up. Otherwise, Coverdale would have came around to score. But now a runner at third with a 2-2 count. Nobody out. Gordon will ground it with a high chopper. That one's going to get over the head of the third baseman. Metzger into left field for a base hit, and it's now 3-0 for Post State with nobody out here at the top of the first.
Yeah, and again, just the little things for Post State. Again, pass ball from Long that skips past him, allows Coverdale to come to third base, and then just a high hopper. I mean, just almost an identical kind of hit that Garrett Stout hit to walk off game one, just over the top of the third baseman, and the Eights are up 3-0.
First pitch as Lusk showed bunt, pulled it back and taken for strike one. And it's 0-1, and we're having some early movement in the dugout if somebody's going to go warm up or not for Harrisburg. No, nothing yet. But there's some stirring in the dugout, and coach is looking in from just outside that third base dugout. Lusk will chop it foul off of his shoulder, and it's now 0-2. Nobody out here at the top of the first. 3 runs have already scored on 3 hits so far from Post State. An RBI single from Andrew Coverdale, an RBI single from Andy Gordon, and Iverson scored off of an error from the pitcher in Will Simmons. Here's the 0-2 from Simmons to Lusk. He'll wave at it and miss, and he'll go down on strikes for the first out. They'll bring up Jack Van Camp.
And this is a do or die game for Harrisburg. You have no margin for error right now. So if this is a regular season game with your probably number 1 or number 2 pitcher on the mound, you probably give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But already being down 3-0, you can't let this game get too far out of hand if you're Harrisburg. Now, the flip side is Harrisburg can score a lot of runs very quickly. We've talked about their home run power, and so you put a couple of those dingers up on the board, and they can come back in a hurry. But right now, Post State in an enviable situation, albeit the fact that it is early, top of the first, they're up 3-0.
And I will make the mention, too, Post State was up 3-0 in Game 2 against Harrisburg, back in Harrisburg, and ended up losing 16-3. So a 3-0 lead is great to have right now, but it's not something that is insurmountable for Harrisburg, who only scored 2 runs in Game 1, just like they did in Game 1 back in Harrisburg, too. I think swing and a miss by Van Camp, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Gordon is on at first base. Here's the 1-1 from Simmons to left-handed hitting Van Camp. Gordon is on with a pitch. The throw to second is going to be wide, and Gordon will steal second. And it's now a 2-1 count. And a good throw would have got Gordon at second base, but offline, and it's now a 2-1 count to Van Camp. Runner in scoring position. Mitchell, as we kind of throw things over for a quick check of the out-of-town scoreboard, they lead 4-2 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. So they've had a lead in the bottom of the 7th, the bottom of the 8th, and now a lead in the bottom of the 9th. And they're trying to close it out for the 3rd time, as the catcher Long and Simmons will have a conference at the mound.
And it would not surprise me if Coach White continues to put pressure on the Harrisburg catcher with the running game. I mean, we've just talked about that. This just seems uncharacteristic for Long. The number of passed balls when he has had to try to cut down the running game, his throws have typically been offline, and so Post State's had a lot of success with the running game so far. And I think right now you kind of get into the mental side of baseball. I mean, maybe getting into Long's head a little bit.
Count is 3-1 to Van Camp as that one missed high and away. On deck is Lincoln Keenholz, who scored the game-winning run. 3-1 pitch. Van Camp will foul it back. And it is now a 3-2 count as that one goes. And the way that Heights Stadium is lined up is when it goes off that metal screen, or the metal fence, it likes to go into the crowd, and nobody's really – sometimes you quit paying attention. End up hitting somebody in the back after a couple bounces. 3-2 pitch. Van Camp will foul it away on the left side, and we'll do it again with a full count.
And the other thing that is a plus right now for Post State is Harrisburg's only got 1 out on the board. You're already down to hitter number 6 in the order. Simmons has already thrown close to 25 pitches. If you can grind and
Van Camp can run to first as the ball was dropped, and he will not. He thought it was pretty inside, but instead of running to first, end up being thrown out at first. But Gordon was able to get to third base, so there's 2 down for Lincoln Keenholz. Chance to make it a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, I think Van Camp thought that was ball 4, was surprised when he heard the strike call, and then kind of was a little disoriented when he kind of turned around, saw the ball. It actually popped out of Long's glove. And the upside for Post State was that they were able to move the runner in Gordon from second to third on the throw down to first base. And so now he's just 90 feet away and can score on a base hit, pass ball, error, any number of different ways.
1-0 pitch to Lincoln Keenholz. There's a little blooper in the center field. That one's going to drop for a base hit, and it's now 4-0. Keenholz, nobody was at second. The throw back to first, and he'll dive back in safely. It was going to be a 4-foot race to second. I think he wasn't going to win that race, and he wisely turned back around, but he gets an RBI single, and Post State has opened up a 4-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. 3 RBI singles, and they've taken advantage of the one Harrisburg error so far. And here's A.J. Gaydon with the speed of Keenholz. Somewhere in the gap could make it a handful here in the first inning.
And Keenholz was 1 step away from making that too big of a turn. I mean, he was a third of the way to second base when he put the brakes on, and luckily he put them on when he did, because if he goes any farther, he's probably thrown out coming back to first base.
A.J. Gaydon will take strike 1 as he went 0 for 3 in game 1. He reached on an error in the bottom of the 7th inning that allowed that game winning single from Garrett Stout. That one's fouled to the first base line, and it's now 0-2. Coach Nathan Nas, who we talked to after game one, couldn't make the play cleanly. Let him know about that after the game's over. Simmons will come set from the stretch. Keenels is on at first. Here's the 0-2. As Gainwell ground it down the third base line, but it's foul. And it will remain at 0-2. Mitchell now an out away from taking game one in an upset over Brandon Valley, leading 4-2.
Brandon's used 5 pitchers in the day so far. Only 4 of them are only one is unable to pitch tomorrow, Trey Sanaha, but the other 3 could come back tomorrow if they end up pushing to a game 3.
0-2 again and fouled back. And it remains 0-2. Number 9 hitter, Cade Hinkle, he is on deck. 8 guys have come to the plate here in this top of the first inning. Simmons has been laboring in this one. Here's the 0-2 again. Keenels is off. Pitches off the glove of Long, and it's now now runner on second here with 2 down. And the count is 1-2.
And again, just a miscue by Long behind the plate. A ball that he had to backhand a little bit, but certainly would have put him in good throwing position to take a shot at Keenholz going to second. And again, just wasn't able to glove it cleanly and skipped away, and Keenholz goes into second standing up.
Here's the 1-2. Keenholz will take off for third. There's a ground ball up the middle. That one's going to be fielded by the second baseman, Weedy, on a tough pop, and a good play by Weedy, the second baseman, to retire the side and keep that 5th run from coming in to score. 4-run score in the inning on 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. After a half inning, Pierre leads Harrisburg 4-0. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back to Hyde Stadium, bottom of the first inning, as we go through Harrisburg's lineup, Chase Mason leads it off, followed by Tyson Kogel, Zeb Weedy, and then Peyton Metzger, the cleanup hitter, Timon Long, Jack Rayburn. There'll be Chase Evans, Ben Lowe's, and Ethan Rollinger, the 9 hitters for Harrisburg. Garrett Stout is on the mound, and he is looking for a Game 2 win and a sweep for Post State to go to the state tournament on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're guaranteed to play Friday and Saturday, just 1 game for each team. Those 2 games will be played on Friday, the first round, and then nothing's guaranteed after that. You have to make to the state championship to play on Sunday. First pitch misses inside to Mason for ball 1. Mason in game number 1, he went 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch twice and also popped out to Jack Van Camp. Count is quickly 2-0 from Stout to Mason. Here is the 2-0 pitch. Inside again, and it's now 3-0.
Mason, we talked about his numbers a little bit in game 1, comes into the day hitting 250 on the year, 25 hits, 100 at bats, 9 home runs on the year, leads the team in home runs and leads the team in runs scored with 40.
And Mason will draw 4-pitch walks. The leadoff hitter is on here in the first 4 pitches of the game from Garrett Stout. And that'll bring up Tyson Kogel, the shortstop. And Stout's got to quickly find it here. Although Van Camp in the first inning in game 1, he did hit Mason, ended up getting thrown out trying to steal second. I think they're going to be a little bit more conservative of trying to get Mason over to second base. First pitch is upstairs for ball one. 5 straight misses here from Stout. There's a guy that he wants the ball in these situations. He wants the ball. He wants to throw, and maybe a little bit too much adrenaline going right now from Stout. Got to calm things down. That one is a pickoff attempt, and back in safely is Mason.
Yeah, and you really, even though he's already played a full game out at shortstop, like you said, the adrenaline's probably coursing through the veins at a pretty high level right now. You just kind of need to settle in, but the difference now is instead of being a fielder and a hitter, your focus is on pitching right now, and so you just kind of got to get into a rhythm, and it might take an inning to get there.
1-1, that is over for strike 2. He went with that curveball on a 1-0 count after he had thrown 5 straight fastballs that missed, and he got that curveball over, and now a fastball that gets the zone, and is now 1-2 to Kogel. Here with nobody on the bottom of the first inning. Stout from the stretch, the 1-2. That one misses low and inside, now 2-2.
And I think the biggest thing with Garrett Stout right now is you just don't want to do too much. I mean, you just have to trust your talent and trust your athleticism, especially with a 4-0 lead that your teammates staked you to here in the first inning.
2-2. Curveball over for strike 3, and Kogel is down on strikes. And that's the first strike of the ball game for Garrett Stout. Third time that Kogel has gone down on strikes here today. And it'll bring up Zeb Weedy with one down here in the bottom of the first.
I think Kogel had maybe a suggestion for the home plate umpire that maybe that pitch was a little high. Kind of looked back and grabbed the jersey. We'll see what happens the next time he's up.
There's a ground ball to the right side, fielded by Coverdale. The only play to first. It is a good play from Coverdale. And there's now 2 down, and the runner Mason moves up to second base. And they'll bring up Peyton Metzger. And Metzger, the third baseman, here in game number 2, just like he was in game number 1. Metzger went 0 for 2 in game 1. He walked and then struck out looking, and also grounded out to the second baseman, Coverdale, in his 3 plate appearances in game 1. Harrisburg, now at 28-17 on the year. Post State has won 30 games here this year, 30-16. And a win, 29-16.
So they are 30-16.
Yeah, 30-16, yeah. So a win could just about guarantee you to play 50 games this year, as long as you don't go 0-2 in the state tournament. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Peyton Metzger.
Metzger leads the Harrisburg Tigers in games played with 42 of their 45, 32 hits and 110 at-bats. He's got 3 home runs on the year, 23 RBIs, leads the team in walks with 30 to go with his .291 batting average.
Count is 1-1 to Metzger. Mason is on at second base. Gaten playing off the bag, but not far enough to allow Mason just to take third base. Hinkle's looking into the dugout for signs, but he's having to shield the top of his eyes as that sun's starting to set, looking straight in the sun to the first base dugout. The 1-1, it comes inside, and it's now 2-1.
And again, Post State in a shift for Metzger. We've seen that with Mason, and we've seen it with Metzger with Keenholz. He's playing deep and about 2 steps to the left of second base. He's probably 30 feet to the left of where he would normally be in his shortstop position.
2-1 just misses inside, a little low, and it's now 3-1 here to Metzger. Timing long, and the catcher is on deck. 2 down here in the bottom of the first from the stretch. Here's the 3-1. Another curveball that misses. It gets away from Hinkle. The throw to third, and not be able to get it as Gaten, but it is popped right up right where Gaten was at. So it's now first and third with 2 down on the second walk issued of the inning by Garrett Stout. And that'll bring up Timon Long, the catcher. Runners in the corners. This is a big shutdown inning here for Post State. After winning game 1 on a walk-off single, they scored 4 runs before Harrisburg was able to come to the plate. And you get a big 0, that kind of really deflates Harrisburg, especially now with a runner at third base with 2 down. Here's the first pitch to Long. This is high and inside for ball 1.
Yeah, Long, a dangerous hitter, could do a lot of damage pretty quickly. Comes in hitting .354, leads the team in batting average. 29 hits and 82 at bats. He's second on the team in home runs with 8. Leads the team in RBIs with 33.
Coach Brian White will head out and talk with Garrett Stout on the mound. He and Cade Hinkle out there, and White gives him a pat. Well, now they're going to come back and talk a little bit more, and now be good.
Yeah, and this is the conference you have with a young man that's played for him for 5 years. In normal situation, you'd probably send Director of Pitching Development Peyton Zabel out, but this situation where, especially early on in this game with runners, corners, and 2 outs, where you really just, this is a situation where the coach just goes out and says, just settle down, just throw strikes.
1-1, they swing and a miss. Now 1-2, back-to-back swings and misses here from Long, and we'll see if that's mound visit from Coach White. Goes for all 3 strikes here. 1-2 pitch from Stout. That one's outside, now 2-2.
Yeah, I was a little surprised he threw a fastball after throwing 2 straight past Long. I thought maybe he'd come back with something off speed and see if he could get him to chase.
Here's the 2-2 to Long. That one is at the letters and looked out for a strike 3, and Post State will get the 0 they're looking for here in the bottom of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. We played 1 full complete here at Hyde Stadium. Here leads Harrisburg 4-0. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Top of the second inning, Post State looking to add to their 4-0 lead already, as it'll be Cade Hinkle, Garrett Stout, and River Iverson. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here at Hyde Stadium. We say this, we don't want to say this is the final time we're going to be here in 2020, but it could be. I mean, the chances,
it will be if they win.
Well, okay, yeah, because they come back tomorrow. But there's that chance that all 3 top seeds lose. Watertown and Brandon Valley both lost game 1. Looks like Post 22 with their 7-4 lead in the bottom of the 6th, they could win game 1. But we don't want to say it's going to be the last one, but this could be the last time we're here at Hyde Stadium today and tomorrow. It could be today too. But the last time we're here at Hyde Stadium in 2020, and what a season it's been here at Hyde Stadium. We've seen 3 different walk-offs. Here, a walk-off single from River Iverson, a walk-off grand slam from Garrett Stout in the season, and obviously this last game here, a walk-off single from Garrett Stout. As Cade Hinkle steps to the plate, 9-1-2 here in the top of the second. Will Simmons looking to have a much better, more efficient second inning than he did in the first. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Cade Hinkle.
Simmons 33 pitches in that first inning. At that pace, he only gets through about 4 1/3 or 3 1/3 at that rate.
The 0-1, a check swing, and Hinkle, they say he went, and it's now 0-2. Hinkle drew 2 walks in game number 1. He drew that 1-out walk to allow Garrett Stout to come to the plate with the bases loaded. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one misses outside, and it's now 1-2. Shadows are now going right through the center between home plate and the mound, and that is what makes hitting it much more difficult. 1-2 pitch. That one will bounce to the dirt, now 2-2. And it gets to the home plate, and it's almost in shadows again, although that's not going to make too much of a difference. But it is tough to go from the sun to the shadow to the sun again. And we've talked about plenty of times throughout this season, but it's one that need to continue to talk about because it's one that kind of gets lost in the average player that doesn't go through that. The count is now full at 3-2.
Yeah, when you're at the plate, what you're really looking for is trying to pick up the spin on the baseball to try to make the differentiation between fastball and an off-speed pitch, and so when the ball is going from, and right now it goes from daylight on the mound to through shadows till it's about halfway to home plate, then back into the sun again by the time it gets to home plate. So you're really having to adjust twice as the ball comes to home plate in the fraction of about half a second.
Nichols struck out swinging, and the first pitch to Garrett Stout will miss low and roll to the backstop, and it's 1-0 count to Garrett Stout, who singled and came around to score the game's first run. He led off the top of the first like he ended the bottom of the seventh with a single. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is over for strike one. Yes, you heard that right. He ended the bottom of the seventh the same way he started at the top of the first with a single. They are the visitors here in game number 2. Just like it was in the regions, the lower seed is the home team in game 2. And then the higher seed who hosts, they were home in game 1 and 3. That one's inside now, 2-1 to Stout.
Yeah, probably a rare instance where the same guy gets to hit back to back. He 2 consecutive at bats. Last at bat of game number 1 and the first at bat of game number 2.
2-1 is upstairs now, 3-1. That actually could have happened. I guess it could have happened tomorrow. The Cardinals or on Wednesday, the Cardinals and Tigers were supposed to play a doubleheader. As Stout will draw a 1-out walk, and it'll bring up River Iverson. And what was going to happen is that the Tigers are going to be the home team in game 1, but that was going to be the end of their series. But instead, with Cardinals having coronavirus and everything else, they're ended up having the Cardinals be the home team in game 2 and then be the home team in Detroit on Thursday as well. So that could have actually happened in the Major League Baseball game as well. But that is not happening, and the Cardinals are probably still a week away from playing again, just like the Marlins, whenever they suspended their play, have been over a week now since they've played. First pitch to River Iverson is upstairs for ball 1.
I'm glad you explained that rather than Harry Carey, because he wouldn't have got through the second sentence on that explanation.
Harry would have had a couple more drinks before now, and I have not had that.
Other than your Gatorade.
That's right, other than Gatorade. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one is over for strike 1, and it's now 1-1. Some people were saying, yeah, we heard you read the lineups before game 2. There's something in that Gatorade. I promise. That was just me not doing a good job. Count is even on a ball and a strike. Stout leads away from first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Instead of check over and back in safely at first is Stout. Iverson, he was hit by a pitch, came around to score. He actually scored off the throwing error from the pickoff attempt from the pitcher to first base, and Iverson was able to score on that. That one's fouled back as Stout was off of the pitch, and he'll head back to first. The count remains at 1-2. Here with 1 down in the top of the second inning. Post State leads 4-0 over Harrisburg.
No, John, you do a good job, and when you go on and make your fortune, and you're calling games at either the NHL or MLB level, we'll say we knew you win.
And there's a base hit to right field for River Iverson. Stout will make the turn to head to third. The throw will come in, and sliding in safely is Stout with a single from Iverson. And it's first and third with 1 down. I'll bring up Andrew Coverdale. I do appreciate the kind words.
No, heartfelt, absolutely. Wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. And we've got activity down in the Harrisburg bullpen.
Here's Coverdale, who had an RBI single in his first at-bat. And it looks like it's
Jack Sutton.
Jack Sutton, who was warming up earlier. Sutton has only got 14 in the third innings pitched. He's 3 for 3 in save opportunities, but you also say we're down 4-0 in game 2. We have to win this game. If Simmons can't go, it doesn't matter anymore. We have to win. We have to win this game. We got to go in all the stops, as Iverson will take second on the first pitch that is called strike 1.
And Sutton's probably a bridge guy. I mean, somebody who probably you look for a couple of innings. He's thrown 14 in a third innings, but he's done that in 9 appearances. So he's less than 2 innings in appearance. So you're probably looking at him as a bridge to somebody else in the bullpen. And so right now, the Eights definitely have Harrisburg on the ropes right now, up 4-0, and a rally going here with one out here in the top of the second.
Yeah, runners at second and third, a base hit could break this open to a 6-0 lead. The infield is drawn in all the way around as Coverdale looks to go 2 for 2. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip in the mid of long. It is now 0-2.
And again, having Harrisburg play the infield in here in the second inning, that just shows you how they feel that runs are going to be at a premium going against Garrett Stout here in game number 2.
Simmons will come set from the stretch. Here is the 0-2 to Coverdale. He'll foul it back. That pitch was up in the zone, but he was able to get a piece of it and stays alive at 0-2. We have a final in all 4 games now in game 1. Post 22, they beat Post 3 27-4 in game number 1. So just Rapid City Hard Hats and Post 8 were the only 2 top seeds to win in game 1. The 0-2 is over for strike 3. And Coverdale goes down on strikes for the second out. And there's the 4th strikeout of the ball game now for Simmons. He's only retired A.J. Gaden on a ground ball. Everybody else has been retired on a strikeout so far. And here's Andy Gordon, who singled home a run in his first at-bat in the top of the first inning. 2 down here at the top of the second. Simmons delivers the first pitch to Gordon upstairs for ball 1.
Renners come back to tie the game with Watertown 2-2. They are still batting in the bottom of the 5th inning.
That's Renner actually has taken a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning now. Here's the pitch. It comes inside to Gordon. Does not hit him. Stout will come in to score. Iverson will move up to third base. And there's that one time where most guys on the bench are telling him to wear it. That's one time to say, hey, thankfully you didn't wear it because we got to run in to score on that one.
Well, because hit batter is a dead ball, so all that would have happened would have been loaded the bases. Pass ball allows Stout to score, but where that pitch came in, I mean, Andy Gordon would have risked injury at some point with that fastball.
There's a fly ball to right field, diving forward and makes the catch. It's the right fielder Chase Evans, and he saves that 6th run from coming in to score. And that could be maybe for Harrisburg, something to build off of on the catch from Evans. But another run does score in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We have played an inning and a half, and Pierre leads 5-0 over Harrisburg. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. Here in the bottom of the second inning, Post 8 has added another run. They lead 5-0. Garrett Stout will deal with 6, 7, 8. Jack Rayburn, Chase Evans, and Ben Lewis. Here, the bottom of the second inning, Jack Rayburn had the solo homer to lead off the top of the 5th inning in game 1. That gave Harrisburg a 1-0 lead. They led 2-0 before Post 8 scored 1 in the bottom of the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1.
Rayburn third on the team in average, 301, 31 hits, 103 at bats, 5 home runs on the year to go with 27 RBIs.
The 1-0 is upstairs, and it's now 2-0. And Garrett Stout here in just the first 2 batters in each of the innings have struggled to find the strike zone. That one is also outside, and he's thrown 7 pitches to the first hitter in each of the first 2 innings now, and all 7 have missed. And he's in danger of another 4-pitch walk to lead off an inning. Already 2 so far. That's going to drive the pitch count up with 2 walks and a strikeout. 3-0. That one is right down the middle for strike 1.
Yeah, and really what you want to do is you want a quick inning if you're Garrett Stout. You want to get post 8 back in the dugout, get the bats back in the hand, and make Harrisburg spend some time standing on their feet out on their defensive position and really just continue to just add to this lead. You're up 5-0 already. You hope that you want to just put another 0 on the board here in the bottom of the second.
Count is full now, 3-2. As that one was fouled away. Here's the 3-2 from Stout to Rayburn. And he does not offer at the pitch on the off speed, and Rayburn will draw a leadoff walk. And they'll bring up Chase Evans, who made that fantastic catch out in right field. As that catch was able to keep this ball game a 5-0 lead for Post State instead of a 6-0 lead, and what could have gotten a lot farther for Gordon to maybe end up at third base. First pitch is inside for ball 1.
And again, I think Garrett Stouts just has to relax a little bit. Just trust his mechanics, just trust his athleticism, and right now it just looks like he's trying to maybe do too much, trying to put an extra mile or 2 on that fastball and just losing the ball as it's coming out of the strike zone.
It's actually Chase Lucas, and had that written down wrong on my scorecard. It's not Chase Evans, Chase Lucas, the right fielder. Looked like Evans when I first read it. And here's the 2-0 pitch upstairs at the letters, and it's now 2-1. And a little bit of somewhat of a sigh of relief from the hometown faithful, and a clap that they're like, oh, that's was pretty high up in the zone, but Stout will take it. Here's a 2-1. There one's chopped to the third baseman, Gaden. Only play is over to first, and he'll make that play. And there's now 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Gaden. He with the shift on, he actually had to he was playing kind of even with the grass, but he was far to his left, and so he actually had to come in a little bit and field the ball. He took a quick look at second base, realized he probably wasn't going to have a play there, and just said, "We'll just take the out and not worry about the lead runner at second base."
First pitch is outside for ball 1 to Ben Lewis, the DH. Did not play in game number 1, as Lewis is batting .264. Now 2-0 with 6 home runs, 25 runs driven in, and 19 for 72 so far on the season. Here's the 2-0 from Stout. That one is upstairs now, 3-0.
Yeah, there's not many teams that would put a young man with 6 home runs for the year on the bench, but in a playoff game. But that's the case with Harrisburg. That's just how deep this lineup is offensively.
Here's a 3-0 pitch. That one is outside, and it's another 4-pitch walk. Second issued in the inning, 4th of the ball game from Stout, and it's now 1st and 2nd. And Coach White's coming back out to talk with Garrett Stout.
And if Stout's got an Achilles heel right now, it's the 4 walks that he's given up here in just an inning and a third. And then again, I think whether it's a command of the zone or maybe trying to do too much, the velocity looks pretty good right now. So you gotta figure it's either it's probably a little bit of a mechanical issue with his delivery, and so I'm sure that's what Coach White is out to offer a little bit of advice right now.
So White will make his way back to the dugout. Hinkle is out there with him, and we'll see if Stout can do what he did back in the bottom of the first inning when he had that talk with Coach White. Ethan Rollinger, the left fielder, he's up to the plate. Rollinger in game 1 went 1 for 3. First pitch is over for strike 1. 1 down here in the bottom of the second. 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Post State so far. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for Harrisburg. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Stout to Rollinger. Swing and a miss. A good off speed there from Stout. Had Rollinger way out in front.
Really would like for Stout to be down in the zone right now and try to induce a ground ball that maybe he could work into a double play and get out of the inning.
Here's the 0-2. That one is outside, now 1-2. Hinkle's looking to back pick over at first base. Gordon was wool off the bag. And scampering back was loose. Count remains at 1-2. From the stretch, here's the 1-2. Off speed again upstairs, and it's now 2-2.
Renner keeps extending the lead over Watertown. They're now up 6-2 in the top of the sixth.
They're 6 outs away from being the first team to punch a ticket to the state tournament. 2-2 is upstairs, now 3-2. So from 0-2, it's now 3-2. And Stout's going to find it. He's in danger of his 5th walk already here in 2 innings. Or actually, an inning and a third. Here's the 3-2. Outside, and it's another walk. Stout has walked the bases loaded here with 1 down. And it's uncharacteristic-like of Stout to have as many walks as he has so far. As Chase Mason comes to the plate, and with 1 swing, he can pull Post State within, or he can pull Harrisburg within 1 of Post State.
And again, Harrisburg is a team that is very patient at the plate. They came into today with 312 walks in 44 games as a team, and so they're not afraid to take the walk. They will grind count and wait for that pitch that they think they can turn on and possibly hit out of the park.
1-0 pitch. That one is down the middle, now 1-1. They have not chased too many so far. In these 2 games. 1-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss by Mason. It's now 1-2. This is a big at-bats with their top hitter. And Chase Mason at the plate for Harrisburg with the bases loaded and 1 down. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside edge, and Mason goes down on strikes. 3rd strike of the ball game for Stout. And they're now 2 down. And here is Tyson Kogel. Well, this will be another backbreaker to Harrisburg if they are unable to score after having a second or runners at the corners in the bottom of the 1st without scoring. And now the base is loaded with 1 out. And a ground ball anywhere, fly ball, whatever, to get you out of the inning. First pitch is over for strike 1 to Kogel, who struck out looking in his first at-bat.
And again, against a pitcher like Garrett Stout, you're not going to have too many opportunities in a given night with runners in scoring position. So you got to make the most of them when you have the opportunity. And if they can, if Stout can get out of this situation and put another 0 on the board, Harrisburg may have squandered 2 of their best opportunities to score.
Count is 1-1 to Kogel from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. That one will bounce in. Good block there by Hinkle, and it's now 2-1. It'll be Kogel and then Weedy if Kogel is able to drive in at least 1 run to keep the inning alive. Bases loaded and 2 down. Here's the 2-1 from Stout, and instead Kogel will call time and let Stout think about it a little bit longer. Iverson shading more to right center field. They're all shading to the right side for Kogel to pull the ball. Here's a 2-1 from Stout to Kogel. Upstairs, and it's now 3-1. And Stout's got to find the zone here. Last thing you want is to give Harrisburg a free run without having to put the ball in play. From the windup, here is the 3-1 pitch. That one is over for strike 2, and the count is now full. And everybody will get a head start.
Yeah, and so a base hit will likely score 2. Even a long single has the potential to clear the bases and score 3.
And then Garrett Stout balks, and a run's going to come in to score. He started to move, stopped, and all of Harrisburg and the umpires all called the ball at the same time. And it's now 2nd and 3rd with the run coming in to score, and the count is still full at 3-2. So a gift there for Harrisburg to pull down within 4. There's a chopper foul. And it remains a full count. It's a tough break here for Post State.
Yeah, just an uncharacteristic, a mental error for Garrett Stout, uncharacteristic of young man that's been in a lot of clutch situations for Pierre over the years.
3-2 is upstairs, and Stout has walked his 4th man in the inning. And the bases are still loaded. And here's Zeb Weedy. And Zeb Weedy comes to the plate, and a team that's hit 40 home runs. He's got 4 home runs, does Weedy, and a swing could tie the ball game up just like that.
Harrisburg scored a run without benefit of a hit so far, actually without even putting the ball in play.
First pitch is over for strike 1 to Weedy. Weedy grounded out to the second baseman in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the 0-1 from Stout to Zeb Weedy. Upstairs, and it's now 1-1. No action in the bullpen yet here for Post State. Have not seen Stout struggle as much as he has here in this ball game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's now 2-1.
Stout on the year. This is his 10th appearance, his 8th start. 28 innings pitched. He's 5-1 on the year. A 2.25 ERA to go with 49 strikeouts on the year in just 28 innings for Garrett Stout. So he's awful close to 2 strikeouts an inning.
2-1's a swing and a miss. It's now 2-2. He had 2 strikeouts in the first inning. He's looking for a second strikeout here in this inning. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Bases are loaded. Here's the 2-2 from Stout to Weedy. Swing and a miss. There's a big strikeout from Stout, and that will end the bottom of the second. No run, or 1 run on no hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. We have played 2 full innings. Pierre leads Harrisburg 5-1. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we play here in the top of the third inning for Post State, they lead 5-1. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean as you are listening to KCCR Perry Riverfront Broadcasting Station. It is going to be 5, 6, and 7. Matt Lusk, Jack Van Camp, and Lincoln Keenels as Will Simmons is trying to get his first 0 of the ball game with Jack Sutton still out there warming up. Assume that he's probably warm and ready to go at whenever Simmons or whenever the coaching staff gives them the sign. As the first pitch from Simmons to Matt Lusk is over for strike 1. Lusk struck out swinging in his first at-bat. The Eights had a 5-0 lead. They have given up that 1 run. Garrett Stout had 4 walks in that second inning. As the count is now 1-1.
Yeah, and you got to figure that this is the second time that Sutton's been up down on the bullpen for Harrisburg. You got to figure that if Simmons gets in trouble again at some point, either in the short term, either here in the third or maybe in the fourth, with his pitch count starting to elevate, you got to figure you're going to see Sutton at some point.
Count is now 1-2 as that was fouled back. 1-2 pitch is outside and a good tick there from Lusk, and it's now 2-2. That Lusk in game 1 went 1 for 3. He has struck out 3 times, though, today. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Lusk. Outside, and it's now 3-2. And Simmons and Long were hoping to get that call from home plate umpire, but did not. And here's the payoff pitch now to Matt Lusk. Swing and a miss, and Lusk will go down strikes for the second time here in the ball game. That'll bring up Jack Van Camp, who also struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Actually struck out looking in his first at-bat. He thought he had ball 4. But ended up getting that runner over to third base, and Keenel was able to drive him in. First pitch is at the letters, generously at the letters for strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a ground ball that'll be foul. Just past Coach Naza over at first base, and it's now 0-2.
Sutton coming back down from the bullpen for Harrisburg, so either he's warm and ready to go, or he may need a quick shot for a third time down there if Simmons is able to stay on the mound and extend his tenure a little bit.
0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's back-to-back strikeouts from Will Simmons to open up the bottom of the third. They'll bring up Lincoln Keenels. It is now 6th strikeout of the game for Simmons, 2 in each of the first 3 innings. Keenels had an RBI single in his first at-bat. He got blooper into center field to drive in Gordon. Made it 4-0 in that first inning. They'll foul the first pitch back and off the umpire, and he'll quickly jog out to pick up that foul ball, so he seems to be okay off of it. And it's 0-1. And Renner and Watertown in the bottom of the 6th inning with Renner leading 6-2. So they're 3 outs away, or 6 runs away from advancing to the state tournament. The 0-1 is right down the middle. It's now 0-2. They'd be a sweep of 6 over a 3 seed. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is looked at for strike 3, and it's striking out the side in order is Will Simmons in the top of the third. We head to the bottom of the third. Here leads Harrisburg 5-1. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Count is 1-1 to Peyton Metzger as we welcome you back here at the bottom of the third inning. 5-1 lead for Pierre over Harrisburg. Stout from the windup here is the 1-1 pitch to the third baseman Metzger. That is over for strike 2, and the count is at now 1-2. Metzger walked in his first at-bat and was stranded at first base. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here on this beautiful Monday evening. Don't say that too often, but when there's baseball, it makes it a little bit better as the count is now 2-2. I guess Monday evening is a lot better than Monday morning.
True.
So we at least made it through one day this week. Here's the 2-2 pitch upstairs, now 3-2.
Yeah, Stout just having trouble just being consistent in the zone. He's been around it all night long and just has kind of nibbled and just hasn't been able to pound that strike zone all night long.
3-2 is right down the middle for strike 3. And he'll start the third like he ended the second with a strikeout. And it's going to bring up Timon Long, who struck out looking in his first at-bat, as strikeout number 5 for Stouts.
And again, the post-8 infield makes the shift as they move from the left-handed hitting Metzger to the right-handed hitting Long. And with now you've got Andrew Coverdale, the second baseman, is just a couple of steps to the left of second base.
Long will shoot this one into left field. Going back is Iverson. He will turn and will one hop off the wall, hit the base of the wall, rolls all the way back. And Long is going to have himself a stand-up double with one out. He might have thought he had a home run on that. The jog to first base. Keeps him from having a one-out triple, but he is in scoring position on the first hit of the ball game for Harrisburg.
Yeah, and the way that ball came off the bat, that thing had a lot of altitude. I thought maybe it was headed into Capitol Creek the way it came off the bat, but actually, just like you said, John, hit the base of the wall and carried back and actually carried back almost half of the way back to the infield. And Iverson had to run a long way to the fence and then a long way back just to pick that ball up and get it back to the infield.
First pitch to Jack Rayburn is over for strike one. Rayburn hit a home run in game one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one will miss low, and it's now even at a ball and a strike. Just the first hit for Harrisburg. Was not double for Timon Long with one down here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one is missed outside and a little high, and it's now 2-1. They have made it to the top of the seventh inning between Renner and Watertown. Watertown needs 4 to keep their season alive. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That one is over for strike 2, and Rayburn not happy with that call, but he will dig back in with the even count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Looks like Stout's been able to spot his curveball with a little more effectiveness than he has his fastball, which is a little bit out of character for him in 2020.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. That is outside and high, and it's now a full count at 3-2.
Brought Hinkle up out of his crouch and actually had to backhand that ball well into the left-hand batter's box and actually spun Hinkle around in a 360 by the time he corralled it.
3-2 pitch upstairs, and it's another one-out walk. And it's now the 7th walk issued to the ball game by Garrett Stout.
And the problem with 6 walks and 5 strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings is that Stout's pitch count is going through the roof, and we now have some activity down in the right field bullpen. Looks like Aaron Booth is going down to get warm.
Here is Chase Lucas, the right fielder. First pitch to him is upstairs for ball 1. Stout has thrown 71 pitches now in 2 1/3. Not going to help you stay in the ball game for very long. The 1-0 is over. Now 1-1. That is a recipe to be having a short outing. 1-1 pitch. That one just misses low. And it's now 2-1.
Hinkle tried to frame that, tried to pull it up, and it was a borderline pitch. I thought it might be a called strike from the way the zone has been, at least from what we've seen up here.
There's a ground ball off the foot of Lucas, and it's now 2-2. That one got him square on the foot, didn't really roll too far. So the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll give you some more score updates as they are available. I believe Brandon Valley and Mitchell have started their second game. And it is a scoreless game in the top of the second inning right now. Mitchell is looking for their sweep, and that would be 2 lower seeded sweeps if Renner is able to hold on in their game and Mitchell is able to win in game number 2. There's a ground ball to the right side, fielded by Gordon. He'll flip to Stout, and there's the second out. Both runners will move up 90 feet. Second and third here with 2 down, and that'll bring up Ben Lewis, the DH, as he walked and was stranded at third base in his first at-bat. So Stout will go back to the windup here with runners at second and third. Here's the first pitch to the designated hitter. Misses upstairs for ball 1. And you hope that, it's just a game where Stout just doesn't have the command and nothing of an injury that's making his command so inconsistent, as the count is now 2-0. He's dealt with some arm injury, some arm problems, some neck problems as well, and you just hope that he's not trying to battle through something right now. And it's just about having the command just not be consistent. As the 2-0 is right down the middle, is now 2-1. There's another pitch. Gets to the home plate area from the right field bullpen.
Yeah, and just uncharacteristic of Garrett Stout so far, 75 pitches, only 33 for strikes.
That one's popped up and foul, and we'll see where it goes. And it'll land right on top, right above there. And again, if that's not there, maybe I got a chance to make that catch, but still nothing. Well, still disappointed with it. Count is 2-2. Stout's a strike away.
Maybe you could lobby to have just this section of the awning cut out.
2-2 pitch is over for strike 3. That sounds like a great idea, Greg. That's another strikeout for Garrett Stout. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We have played 3 complete. Pierre leads Harrisburg 5-1. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here at the top of the 4th inning, 5-1 lead for for Pierre over Harrisburg, as Will Simmons for Harrisburg is still out on the mound as he will deal with 8-9-1. A.J. Gaden, Cade Hinkle, and Garrett Stout. And Greg, we saw Aaron Booth warming up the bullpen, and obviously you got to do what you got to do to get a win. But with no DH, Booth comes in and he's got to replace somebody in the field. You're not going to replace Stout. He's going to go play short. But he's going to replace somebody in the field and take their spot in the batting order. So you start to turn into a National League type manager for Brian White, and maybe start doing some double switching around. And depending on where you're at in the order, you put Booth in the number 9 spot or the 9th hitter from where they're at. And they kind of start playing like an old school National League game, because there's no National League pitcher hitting anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you could do, like you said, you could do the double switch. You could just put Stout, leave Stout in, and what you could do is, depending on the switch you make, just maybe let Aaron Booth, assuming he's the guy that comes in as the first reliever, just possibly pinch hit for him the first time he comes up, and you've got Matt Lusk down in the bullpen who would certainly be available. You got a couple of other serviceable arms down there, so it's anybody's guess how Brian White might want to play this.
2-0 pitch to A.J. Gaden's over for strike 1. Gaden grounded out to the second baseman in his first at bat. He, in game 1, went 0 for 3. He's looking for his first hit here in the Super Regions, as the 2-1 is missing low, and it's now 3-1. Here to A.J. Gaden, followed by Cade Hinkle, and then Garrett Stout. Simmons will come set from the stretch. Here is the 3-1 pitch, and it's over for strike 2. And the count is full to A.J. Gaden. 5-1 lead here in the top of the 4th inning for Post State. Looking for a sweep of Harrisburg to advance to the state tournament. There's a ground ball to the right side that's foul and off the hands of Coach Nas over at first base. And another payoff pitch is coming from Simmons to A.J. Gaden.
And the key pitch count number for both starters in this game is 80 pitches. Once you go over 80 pitches, whichever team qualifies for the state tournament would not be able to pitch on that first day. You would have to wait and pitch the second game on Saturday. So Chase Mason has already gone over his pitch count. He would not be available for Harrisburg. Jack Van Camp went over his pitch count. He would not be available for Post State.
As Cade Hinkle will ground it to the first baseman, and Mason, it'll be now 2 down as A.J. Gaines struck out looking for the first out, and too quickly down here in the top of the fourth inning for now Garrett Stouts.
So, and I think every team that goes into the state tournament probably is not going to have their number one or likelihood number one or number two pitcher available on the first day of the state tournament. So this is really becomes a strategy situation where you're trying to juggle your bullpen and just see what you got available come that first day of the state tournament for whichever teams qualify.
A one pitch to Stout. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, and a Kogel throw to first. Another 1-2-3 inning here for Simmons. He's retired now 8 in a row. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Harrisburg is still trailing Pierre 5-1. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here at the bottom of the fourth inning, 5-1 lead for Pierre over Harrisburg. We have one team that is now in to the state tournament this weekend, and that is Runner, as they beat Watertown 6-3, a doubleheader sweep on the road for Runner, the 6 over the 3 seed. And both Arbogast and Henry get the 2 wins for Runner to advance them into the state tournament. As it'll be 9-1-2, Ethan Rollinger, Chase Mason, and Tyson Kogel to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth. First pitch, swing and a miss by Rollinger, who walked in his first trip to the plate and was stranded over at second base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's outside, and it's 1-1. The other game that's going on right now, Brandon Valley and Mitchell, they're tied up in the top of the third. Brandon Valley, the road team in this game, in the game number 2. One was a swing and a miss. It's now 1-2. And of course, Hard Hats and Stars will get playing here shortly in game 2. The Hard Hats beat the Stars 7-2. Swing and a miss by Rollinger. And again, Garrett Stout will start the fourth inning like he ended the third with a strikeout. And that'll bring up Chase Mason. Now 9 strikeouts in the ball game for Garrett Stout. The only problem is he's got 9 strikeouts and 7 walks, which absolutely drives the pitch count way, way up there. Swing and a miss by Mason, and it's 0-1. You know, wishing that what we've seen through the first 4 pitches from Stout here in this inning would have been the first 4 innings. As Mason will pop it up on the right side. Coverdale will back up into shallow right field. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 quickly down here in the bottom of the fourth, and they'll bring up Tyson Kogel.
Yeah, and let's see if Garrett Stout can get Kogel here in short order, and if so, that's just exactly what the doctor ordered for Garrett Stout. Finally, a quick inning if he can get Kogel here.
And if he can get through that 5th inning, all of a sudden then it turns to the 6th and 7th for Matt Lust to come in and shut the door down as the first pitch is missed low for ball 1 to Tyson Kogel. Obviously, you got to get to that point. You got to have that quick inning here in the 4th to give yourself a chance to go back out in the 5th. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one will also miss, and it's now 2-0. Again, Mitchell leads their series 1-0 over Brandon Valley, and the Hard Hats lead the Stars 1-0 in their series. And Renner is into the state tournament, as that one will end up hitting Kogel. So there is no 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Stout, and that'll bring up Zeb Weedy, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout.
Yeah, and if this game stays as it is, and assuming that Garrett Stout ends up coming out of this game just because of the pitch count, Aaron Booth down in the bullpen, like you said, John, you probably are looking at Booth giving you an inning, maybe two, depending upon when Stout comes out, and then you turn the ball over to Matt Lusk as your closer.
First pitch is upstairs to Weedy. Stout cruised to the first two hitters, and now the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be missing high. It's now 2-0. Can't hit the strike zone after the first two guys went down quickly. So the count is 2-0. Here to Garrett Stout, or from Garrett Stout to Zeb Weedy. That one will miss low and outside, and it's now 3-0. 8 free passes have been given by Garrett Stout, in danger of a ninth one, which would be the 8th walk, and he's also hit one guy. That one guy is on first base right now in Kogel. 3-0 pitch. That one is over for strike one, and it's now 3-1.
And I guess if you could put a silver lining on this, you could say that Garrett Stout has battled through this. I mean, just he's gotten out of a couple of jams. He's only given up one run, just the one base hit, and the only run that Harrisburg has scored on a balk that Garrett Stout had with the bases loaded. So if anything, you could maybe say that this situation could be way worse for the Eights, but looks like we've got another mound visit coming from Coach White.
Coach Brian White will make his third visit out to the mound here for Post States. Garrett Stout, and the way he's kind of moving his arms, like he's going to give the ball to Coach White, but I think he's going to try and give him one more pep talk. Try and get him. This is the third time in 4 innings that he's made his way out there to talk with Stout, trying to get him to get another 0. And they're going to leave him out there, and this usually you don't see Coach White making his way out there and having too many talks with his number one guy, but he's had to do it 3 times. The first 2 have worked out well for Post State, trying to make that third one work out well.
And Coach White just motioned down to the bullpen. You got to wonder if this may not be Stout's last batter, regardless of whether it's an out, a walk, base hit, because the motion was just sort of like, be ready down there, Aaron Booth.
Here's the 0-1 to Peyton Metzger. That one is over, and it's now 0-2. And Stout's trying to get another strikeout here to finish out the 4th inning with another 0. From the stretch, here's the 0-2. That was a good pitch. Metzger, boy, that's tough to take. And Metzger is able to hold off. That's why they have a lot of walks on the season. They came in with 239 walks. That one is on the outside corner and looked out for strike 3, and Metzger goes down on strikes for the second time in the ball game, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on base. We've played 4 complete, and Post State, they lead Harrisburg 5-1. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. Top of the 5th inning as Post State leads 5-1 over Harrisburg. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as we welcome you back into the broadcast booth. And the Eights have a 4-run lead. And Greg, this is halfway through this ball game. If Garrett Stout can maybe get one more inning, I don't know if he had finished out his day on the mound or not, but if he can get one more inning and then have Booth go 1 and Matt Lusk go 1, that could be just about game over for Harrisburg.
Yeah, and right now you're looking at a bunch of different strategies going on in both dugouts. Jack Sutton going down to the Harrisburg bullpen for the 3rd time tonight. Will Simmons, let's check his pitch count real quick. He's at 77 pitches. Garrett Stout up over 90 pitches. So even if Stout comes back out for the fifth inning, chances are he likely is only going to have enough pitches to face one, maybe two batters.
First pitch to Iverson is fouled back. And it's 0-1 is in closer to nightfall here at Tide Stadium. That one will bounce in now 1-1. Obviously, lights are on. And I got to tell you that for Sutton to go back out in the warm-up 3 different times, it's hard for pitchers to do. That's, he's a high school kid, so that helps. But you don't usually like seeing a pitcher warm up 3 different times in a day. 1-1 pitch. That's outside 2-1. He's going to throw more pitches in the bullpen than he will, even if he goes 105 pitches on the mound.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you go down, you throw. I mean, it's the equivalent of going out and throwing 3 different innings, and then coming in and letting your arm stiffen up a little bit when you're back in the dugout and not getting an opportunity to go back out there. So it will be interesting to see if Jack Sutton comes in, how effective he really is going to end up being.
Here's the 2-2 from Simmons to Iverson. That was on the outside corner, just missing. And it's now a full count to Iverson here to lead off the top of the 5th inning. Simmons comes set. Here's the 3-2. That will come in and hit Iverson again. Second time he's been hit here in this game. 3rd time he's been on base.
11th hit batter of the year for River Iverson, and that one's going to leave a mark. that one was a fastball that came in high and tight and got him somewhere on the forearm, and now we've got a mound visit, and this may be the end of Will Simmons' day.
And Jack Sutton came running down like John Rocker to the third base dugout, and he will make his way out to the mound as he'll be in relief of Will Simmons. Will Simmons side for a minute. Go Google John Rocker. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium, it is going to be Jack Sutton on the mound here for Harrisburg. This is going to be his for Jack Sutton. As I try and find his stats real quick, his 10th appearance of the season. He has not started any games. He's 3 for 3 on save opportunities. Obviously, here in the top of the 5th inning and down 5-1. This is a all hands on deck. We got to find a way to get to play on Tuesday, and they got to go with Jack Sutton here, with nobody out in the top of the 5th, with Andrew Coverdale to lead things off.
And Jack Sutton, 14 and a third innings. Like you said, 10th appearance on the year, 3 saves, 0.98 ERA, and a 1.26 whip on the year. He does have 27 strikeouts in 14 innings, so he's averaging right at 2 strikeouts an inning.
As Sutton will come set, here is the 1-0. Instead of check over to Iverson. I don't know if anybody went to go Google John Rocker during the commercial break, but he was a character that was not very well liked from a lot of people.
Yeah, he was the definition of nasty, and just kind of had the epitome.
Out to left field. He didn't get enough of it. It is one off the wall. Over to third is Iverson. It's a double for Andrew Coverdale, just missing a 2-run shot. And second and third with nobody out here at the top of the 5th inning. There's a greeting to Jack Sutton out on the mound.
Yeah, and that was a ball that when it left the bat, I mean, kind of like the Harrisburg hit earlier in the inning. I thought that ball had a chance to get out of here. Just hit off the middle of the fence, right in the middle of the Sanford Health sign out and straight away left field. And he did not miss a home run by very far.
And here is Andy Gordon. That would have been Coverdale's first home run of the season. Here is now Andy Gordon, who has 1 home run on the season. First pitch from Sutton to Gordon. There's a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. 1 run will score. Coverdale will be held up at third. It's an RBI single from Andy Gordon. He's now 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And Post State has gotten the lead back up to 5. They lead 6-1 and are threatening to score more with nobody out here at the top of the 5th.
Harrisburg had the infield plate in on the grass on the Gordon at bat, and that was a ball that just got through the hole between third and short, and maybe if they're at normal positions, maybe that's a ground ball, and you're able to hold the runners and throw Gordon out at first, but it gets through the left fielder, and the Eight's got another run on the board.
First pitch is outside for ball 1.
And again, we'll go back to 3 times up and down in the bullpen for Jack Sutton. You got to wonder if coming into this game, if maybe he's just not quite at 100%. Maybe he left a little something out in the left field bullpen.
1-0 pitch is over for strike 1. Matt Lusk is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts so far. Looking for that first hits of this ball game. He went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in game number 1. It'd be nice to have a 1 for 3 at bat after, or 1 for 3 game 2 after this at bat would drive in a run.
With runners at the corners and nobody out, again, this is a perfect situation. This is exactly the situation that Coach White likes to either put a runner in motion, hit and run. I would doubt you'd see a sacrifice bunt here, but I think everything's on the table right now for the Eights.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Lusk. Swing and a miss, and it's now 1-2 to Matt Lusk. He's trying to find a way to get on base, and oh boy, Lusk has been frustrated at the plate here, especially in game number 2. But all it takes is one good swing. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Sutton to Lusk. That was outside, a good take there from the center fielder. It's now 2-2.
If the Sutton name rings a bell, Jack Sutton is the son of John Sutton, who played for Post State back in the 1990s. Tremendous pitcher for Post State. Went on to pitch at Augustana, then college, now university.
2-2 is fouled at the plate, and we'll do it again at 2-2. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Post State. 1-1 for Harrisburg. As over at third is Coverdale. Gordon is on at first. Here's a 2-2 instead. Gordon is going to be picked off. He's going to try and run it away, and he's going to be tagged out. And Gordon is out over at first base, and a good pickoff move there from the pitcher in Sutton. And there's now 1 down, and frustrates the coaching staff for Post State. But we're still with 1 down, a base hit. Easily make it a 7-1 lead. Here's the 2-2. Lusk, there's a base hit in the left field. That's down, and it's now a 7-1 lead for Post State. There's an RBI single for Matt Lusk. He's now 1 for 3.
Yeah, and just a base hit, just kind of looped over the top of the third baseman. Matt Lusk, like you said, struck out twice earlier. Just didn't try to do too much, and Rollinger out in left field tried to decoy Coverdale over at third base. Came in looking like he had a beat on it, but Coverdale had a good read and scored easily standing up.
First pitch to Jack Van Camp through the right side for a base hit. Rounding second is Lusk. He will pull up at second base. And it's back-to-back singles. Actually, 4 straight hits now for Post State. And it's first and second here with just 1 down. As that'll bring up Lincoln Keenels, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI single.
The Eights brought their hitting shoes in game number 2. 7 runs on 9 hits right now for the Eights, and compared to 1 run on 1 hit for Harrisburg. And again, Harrisburg has squandered opportunities to score in each of the first 4 innings.
9 guys left on base in the first 4 innings for Harrisburg.
You're going to look back, if this score stays as it is, the Harrisburg coaching staff is going to look at this box score and say, we had every opportunity early in the game to turn the momentum.
First pitch to Keenels and misses in the dirt. Lusk with the throw back to second as he started to get to third base, and then he wisely went back to second, and the throw was a little offline, but back in easily was Lusk. Hey, you look at that, 9 guys left on base in the first 4 innings. Well, there's 9 out of the possible 12 that you can leave. You can't leave any more than 12 guys on base through 4 innings, and there are 3 guys away from maxing that out in 4 innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Sutton to Keenels. Trying to show bunt, and it will be fouled off the glove of Long, and it's now 1-1 count. Looking for a bunt base hit was Lincoln Keenels.
A couple of quick score updates. Brandon Valley leads Mitchell 2-1 in the top of the 4th. Rapid City Post 22 up 3-0 quickly over Rapid City Post 320 in the bottom of the 1st, both in game number 2.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Lincoln Keenels. Long pause. That one will get away, and to third base will be Lusk. To second will be Van Camp. And it's now second and third with 1 down, and the count is 2-1. That sweep here by Renner means that Post State, if they do win here in this game or in game 3, they will not have to play the Hard Hats in the first round. They'll play what would be the number 2 seed unless Brandon Valley. They would play Brandon Valley unless Brandon Valley loses, and then they would play Renner in the first round of that state tournament on Friday. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a hard shot caught at the shortstop in Kogel. And because they were playing in all the way around, it wasn't a one-hopper. It was caught on the fly by Kogel, and there's now 2 down. And that'll bring up A.J. Gaden, who's 0 for 2.
And we can close the book on Will Simmons for the night. Simmons goes 4 innings, gives up 5 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. 83 pitches thrown for Simmons. So even if Harrisburg is able to come back, win this game, and win game number 3, Simmons would not be available to pitch on day 1 of the state tournament because the pitch count limit is 80 before you need 4 days rest. That would mean he would be available on Saturday.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to A.J. Gaden. That one is over, and it's now 0-2 to Gaden. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out to the second baseman, also struck out looking. Still looking for his first hit here of the Super Region round. As Sutton looks to get out of this inning. 2 runs have scored so far for the Eights. Here's the 0-2 from Sutton to Gaden. Chopper foul right at the plate, and it remains at 0-2.
And something to keep in mind, John, we talked about it and alluded to a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit of the difference. And we talked about Pierre's doing the little things right. Pierre has 10 seniors on this roster. Harrisburg only has 3, and so you've just got a little bit more maturity on the Post 8 roster compared to what Harrisburg has in their dugout.
Count is 1-2 here now to Gaden. That was an off-speed pitch that missed well high out of the zone. Lusk is on at third base. Van Camp is on at second. A.J. Gaden tried to drive him in. No call time. As Sutton had to go through 6 or 7 different pitches to find one that he likes. But we'll reset and redo the 1-2 pitch.
Aaron Booth continues to throw, not with a great sense of urgency or very hard, just kind of keeping that arm tuned up down in the right field bullpen.
1-2 is upstairs. That one will get to the backstop, and Matt Lusk will come around to score. And it's now an 8-1 lead here for the Eights. And that's another big run here for Post State. As Van Camp is now 90 feet away, a base hit would drive him in as well. And all of a sudden you're looking at a spot here. If you can put a couple more hits together, you can find yourself maybe potentially going up by 10 runs. Obviously, you got to do it pretty quick because you don't have any outs to work with, but you're up by 7 all of a sudden here in the top of the 5th. There's a swing and a miss by Gaden that will end the inning here in the top of the fifth. 3 more runs score in the inning on 4 hits for Post State. No errors and 1 man left on base. After 4.5, Pierre leads Harrisburg 8-1. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, it is going to be 5, 6, and 7. Timon Long, Jack Rayburn, and Chase Lucas. As it is a 8-1 lead here for Post States in the bottom of the 5th inning. 9 outs away from punching a ticket to the state tournament starting on Friday. First pitch from Garrett Stout will miss low for ball 1. Stout won't last too long here in this, unless he has a really, really quick inning. Won't last too long here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, that was pitch 99. He has 6 pitches plus whatever it takes to retire the batter that he would be facing at the time.
So here is the 1-0. That is over for strike 1. Now 1-1 here to the catcher, Timon Long, who's 1 for 2 with a double. He's got the lone hit so far for Harrisburg. The 1-1 is on the outside edge, now 1-2. And so if Stout can finish this man off quickly, he can at least try and get through 2 outs. But he's got to not waste too many more pitches to try and get a second out here. Get the first one with a 2-2 count. The Timon Long pitch outside, 3-2.
That's 103 according to the count I've got on Game Changer.
So he's got to get here Long on this pitch. Here's a 3-2 outside, and it's taken for ball 4, leadoff walk. He's at 104, so he can go 1 more batter. But Coach White's making his way out, and that might end the day for Garrett Stout. As over at first base is the catcher, Timon Long. So Stout will exit the game. We'll go over to shortstop. We'll tell you what all the changes are and who the new pitcher is. It's going to be Aaron Booth. We'll step aside for a minute, come back, and tell you all the changes. You listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Aaron Booth is on the mound here for Post State in the bottom of the 5th. They lead 8-1. Garrett Stout finishes going just 4 innings. He is still responsible for the runner over at first base. But it will be Aaron Booth that will move into A.J. Gaines' spot, which is number 8 in the order. But when you look at what would be a double switch in the National League, it would put Aaron Booth in the farthest spot to come up to the plate. It's now 9. The number 9 spot because Gayton made the last out. So it kind of worked out well with Gaden coming out of the game, as Keenels will move over to third, Stout will move to short, and there's the only changes so far, as Aaron Booth is going to make his 7th appearance of the season. And we'll see how Booth does with 6, 7, and 8. Jack Rayburn, Chase Lucas, and Ben Luce. Here with a runner out first with nobody out.
Aaron Booth, 7th appearance on the year, 16 and a third innings. Has started 3 games. He's 2-0 on the year. Struck out 12 in those 16 innings to go with a 3.43 ERA.
First pitch from Booth to Rayburn is over for strike 1. And Aaron Booth, it's all about just getting this ball game through the 5th and 6th inning. Throw strikes, limit the walks, something that Garrett Stout, he struggled to avoid walks in this ball game. Here's the 0-1 pitch upstairs, and it's now 1-1. 9 walks and hit by a hit batter, 10 free passes from Stout through 4 innings.
More activity down in the post-8 bullpen. I can't quite make out the number, although I think it's Jake Mayer that's starting to get loose for the 8s.
Rayburn takes strike 2. He can't believe that second strike call, and he is down the count 1-2. As it'll be Chase Lucas on deck. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-1 lead for Post 8. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just below the knees. Not a bad spot there from Aaron Booth. And he was the count, though, at 2-2. Brandon Valley leads Mitchell 5-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Brandon Valley's looking to win game number 2 to force a 3rd game. That'll be at 5:30 tomorrow evening in Brandon. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball that misses upstairs, and it's now 3-2.
And right now for Harrisburg, you probably are not looking at the running game very much. You really want to protect any outs that you've got. You've only got 9 left right now, and so you really don't want to risk losing one on the base paths.
That one's fouled back on a 3-2 pitch, and we will do it again. Post 22 still leading in the Post 320 Stars 4-0. Midway through the 2nd inning. That's over at Pete Lean Field, although Post 22 is the host team. Here's a 3-2. Check swing. And they said he wins, and Rayburn goes down on strikes. He threw his bat thinking he had another walk, and he is down on strikes for the first out. That one didn't look like there was much question to it. Well, there's one down here in the bottom of the 5th, and they'll bring up Chase Lucas, who's been a ground ball victim twice.
Yeah, and that was from up here. There was little doubt that Rayburn's bat came through the zone, and so that was a good call and a good appeal down to first base, and like I said, just very little question that was strike 3.
Here's the first pitch to Chase Lucas. That one is at the letters for strike 1. Lucas also does not like that first pitch strike. Tennis ball makes his way into the field of play.
And that's what happens when you have a crowd, when a stadium that's built to be crowd friendly. You have kids playing catch along the bank on the third base side, and one of them just got away.
Now one pitch will come in and hit Lucas. That one got away from Booth. And it's now 1st and 2nd here with one down. But it's funny, too, that kind of looks like what my childhood was like. Accidentally do something and probably shouldn't have been doing. And I went running off to the bleachers and running into the stands where you can't find me anymore. No, that definitely was not me that did that. I didn't let the ball go into the field. And 1st and 2nd here with one down, as it'll be Ben Luce, the designated hitter, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Garrett Stout still responsible for the runner on second base and time and long, but you can just about close the book on him. 4 innings pitched, only 1 hit, 1 run allowed. That was earned, but the big red flag in his pitching line, 9 walks on the day to go with 8 strikeouts.
First pitch misses for ball 1 to Luce, and Post 8, they're getting away with it right now here as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. And they lead by 7, but just too many walks in this game. That one will miss, and it's now 2-0. You are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Past the 9 o'clock hour here on this Monday evening. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean. 8-1 is our score. Post State leads Harrisburg in the bottom of the 5th inning. Looking for a sweep and an advance to the state tournament. 2-0. That one is at the knees, and it's now 2-1.
Post State has been living dangerously all night. You hope they can keep this on the right side of the ledger, but if you keep putting runners on with walks and hit batters, at some point, Harrisburg's too good a hitting team. They're going to break through at some point.
There's a swing and a miss, and it's now 2-2 as Luce swung through that one. And from 2-0 now to 2-2. Booth looking to find a second strikeout here this inning. He'll come set from the stretch. Here's a 2-2. Swing and a miss, and there's a second strikeout for Aaron Booth. And then they bring up Ethan Rollinger, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout as well.
And the thing that you notice about the Harrisburg hitters is that, they all kind of have that big uppercut swing. I mean, they're swinging for the fly ball. You've just not seen tonight through 7 innings in the first game and now 4+ here in the second game. They just have not hit many ground balls. I mean, everything that they've hit has either been a strikeout that they've swung through or a fly ball.
Yeah, it's a 1-0 count. You almost count on one hand how many ground ball outs that they've had. I think that is at 5 right now in 2 games. 1-0 is upstairs, and it's now 2-0. Aaron Booth looking to work out of it, get a scoreless 5th inning, but Coach White will make his way out and talk with Aaron Booth.
And you got to appreciate this about Coach White. He's not been afraid to go out and have quick conversations if he sees something, some kind of a mechanical issue, something in the delivery, maybe just a quick pep talk. But in a game as important as this, when you're after winning game number 1, Post State has the momentum up big here in game number 2. You don't want to give a team like Harrisburg, who can turn the score around on you pretty quickly, you don't want to give them any chance to even have a pulse here in game number 2.
Count is 2-0 after the mound visit to Rollinger. Here is the 2-0 pitch. That one misses upstairs, and it's now 3-0. And Greg, you said you don't want to give Harrisburg that pulse, because if you walk another man and all of a sudden it's Chase Mason who can hit a grand slam and pull within striking distance with one swing, as it will be Chase Mason to come to the plate, a 4-pitch walk. And now is the ever dangerous Chase Mason, who is 0 for 2 so far with one swing of the bat. He can make it an 8-5 ball game.
Outfield is back. Jack Van Camp in right field. Mason being a dead pull hitter out of the left-hand batter's box. Jack Van Camp is about 3 steps in front of the warning track.
Here's the first pitch from Booth to Mason. They'll foul that one out of play. And all the way past Capitol Avenue on the other side. And it's 0-1.
In previous at-bats, Garrett Stout had been pretty much head up straight over second base. He's actually playing about 2 or 3 steps to the first base side of second base now.
Good block by Hinkle on the 0-1 pitch, and it's now 1-1. Here to the first baseman in game 2. He took the loss in game 1 as Matt Lusk picked up the win for Post State. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Booth to Mason. That one is missing low, maybe a little bit inside, and it's now 2-1. That's a tough pitch to lay off, but one that Booth would love to have as a strike call. Here's a 2-1 now to Mason. That one also misses apparently low, maybe a little outside that time.
Well, you never want to argue with an umpire strike zone, but that was an awful close pitch. I mean, it looked like one that might have been a strike earlier in the game.
Here's the 3-1. Mason swings and misses. That would have been ball 4. And now the count is full. Everybody will get a head start. So even if Mason doesn't hit a home run, he can still clear the bases if he can find a gap somewhere. Here's the 3-2 from Booth to Mason. Fouled back. And we'll do it again. The count full.
One thing I liked right before Aaron Booth delivered that pitch, you saw him just take a big deep breath and try to relax as much as possible before he delivered that full count pitch to Mason. And let's see if he can get Mason right here.
3-2 again. Comes inside, hits Mason, and it's going to draw on another run. And that's the second time now that Harrisburg has scored in this game without having to put the ball in play. Actually, they have not put a ball in play the entire inning, as the two outs have been strikeouts.
I think the third time that Mason's been hit tonight, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change.
Yep, as Coach White will make his way back out, Aaron Booth will go those 2/3 of an inning, and we will tell you what the changes are after this 1-minute break. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hyatt Stadium, it is going to be Jake Mayer on the mound here for Post State, trying to get this last out in the bottom of the fifth inning. He'll come with the bases loaded and 2 down. As this is a tough spot, but you can only need just maybe 1 or 2 pitches to get out of this inning here if you're Jake Mayer.
Quick update from Minot. The Azores Valley Sabre Dogs lead the Pierre Trappers 10-5 going into the 7th.
Brandon Valley leads Mitchell 5-1 in the top of the 5th inning. They get the bases loaded, nobody out. They're looking to explode that game open here quickly. It is Tyson Kogel that will be the first man to face Mayer with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. With a runner at third and Lucas, second Rollinger, and Mason is on at first. This is a big at-bat of this ball game. 8-2 is their score. Yeah, that's a 6-run lead for Post State, but they'd love to strand those 3 runners on. Here's the first pitch. That misses inside for ball 1.
Jake Mayer, this is his 10th appearance on the year, 24 innings pitched, 2-1 on the year. He's got 21 strikeouts to go with a 4.38 ERA. Coming in a big spot, bases loaded, 2 outs.
The 1-0 is at the letters. It is now 1-1. Only 1 hit so far for Harrisburg, but they have 2 runs. And the 1-1 pitch is outside, now 2-1. If they strand the bases loaded without scoring any more runs, it'll be 12 men stranded in a possible 15 with only having 1 hit in the ball game. That's a wild stat there. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's now 2-2.
Kogel swings through a fastball from Jake Mayer. Mayer has good velocity. The rising senior is going to sit in the low to mid 80s typically. So this is a good battle right here.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Mayer gets a strikeout to the first man he faces, and that retires the side. No 1 run in the inning, no hits in the inning, no errors, and 3 men left on base. We played 5 innings in this wild game, and it's an 8-2 lead for Pierre over Harrisburg. You're listening to Post-State Baseball. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Top of the sixth inning. Post States, they lead 8-2 over Harrisburg. 9-1-2. Cade Hinkle, Garrett Stout, River Iverson. And if anybody gets on base, it'll go to Andrew Coverdale. Brandon Valley with a 9-1 lead over Mitchell. Joe Colbeck with a grand slam to open up the ball game there. I believe the Hard Hats have kind of opened things up as well over post 320 as they lead. Let's see if it loads up quick enough. 5-0 over post 320 in the top of the third inning. They're looking for a sweep over there as well.
Joe Colbeck, a former Pierre resident, he would look awful nice in the middle of this post 8 batting order if his family had been here. They moved about 5-6 years ago, but he would be a stalwart in the middle of this post 8 lineup, I can tell you that.
There's the first pitch to Cade Hinkle from Sutton upstairs for ball 1. Hinkle's 0 for 2. He struck out swinging and also grounded out to the first baseman. I think his dad's the one that does the PA a lot for Pierre or for Brandon Valley.
Okay.
And I think we had a little conversation about that, and so I don't want to talk bad about him on air.
Yeah, super nice family.
Yeah,
Just tremendous asset both to the Pierre community and to the Brandon community, and they've known Joe since he was just a young man, and he's just a tremendous personality. So
3-0 is the count to Hinkle. Yeah, me and his dad had a good time up in the press box last spring and summer when Pierre and Post State both played against Brandon Valley. Count is now 3-1.
Joe's another one who's got some opportunities. Will end up playing college baseball someplace in the upper Midwest.
3-1 is inside corner for strike 2. Hinkle thought he had a first walk issued to him in the ball game. Instead, here's a 3-2 pitch now from Sutton to Hinkle upstairs, and that will be a leadoff walk. And then I'll bring up Garrett Stout. Stout is 1 for 2 so far. He singled in the first, came around to score, also walked and scored. And he grounded out to the shortstop in the top of the fourth inning.
Yeah, something you don't see much of out of Jack Sutton. Only his 11th walk of the year that he's issued in 15 and a third innings.
Here's the first pitch from Sutton to Stout. That's upstairs for ball 1. Post State leads 8-2 here in the top of the sixth inning. 6 outs away from potentially what would be, if they do get those 6 outs, to advance to the state tournament on Friday. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one will go behind Stout, get to the backstop, and Hinkle will take second base with ease. And it's now a 2-0 count with a runner on second. The schedule is not set other than Post State will play a game Friday. They will be off and then until Saturday. Win or lose, they will then play Saturday. And then if they make the state championship, they will play on Sunday. And there's a line shot caught by the shortstop, throw back to second, and Hinkle dives back in safely. Stout is retired for the first out. He's now 1 for 3.
Yeah, and luckily for Post 8, Weedy, the second baseman, was far enough away from the bag that it took him a while to get there, and Hinkle was able to retreat, and otherwise he would have been he very likely would have been picked off, and now it looks like we got a pitching change for Harrisburg.
So Sutton will come out of the game. The left fielder and Rollinger will come into pitch, and someone will go out to left field. We'll tell you the changes here after a minute break. You listen to Post State Baseball. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. Rollinger will make his way to the mound here for Harrisburg as it will be moving out Jack Tigan out to left field. Rollinger's got 15 2/3 innings pitched. He's got an ERA of 2.68 and a whip of 1.34. He has given up 6 earned runs and 10 runs, 6 of them earned, 9 walks, 23 strikeouts in his so far. This will be now his 10th appearance on the season. 10th appearance on the season, and it is going to be out to left field. It will be Tigan for Harrisburg as well. So Tigan will move into the batting order for Luce, as on the mound is Rollinger.
Yeah, and again, kind of a blueprint for the rest of the pitching staff. Rollinger, 15 2/3 innings, but 23 strikeouts, so he averages about a strikeout and a half an inning.
First man he faces is River Iverson, who's reached base all 3 times. 2 of them have been hit by a pitch. He also had a single. First pitch is grounded to the third baseman. That is fair for a base hit. Hinkle around third. He's going to come around to score, and Post State has added another run. It's now a 9-2 lead on the RBI double from River Iverson.
Yeah, just a ground ball that skipped right down the third base line and literally went right over top of third base. And the advantage of having a 3-man umpiring crew is John Krogstrand, who is the third base umpire, was right on top of the play and immediately called fair ball. And so with the double, River Iverson makes this a 9-2 ball game.
First pitch to Andrew Coverdale is over for strike 1. Coverdale is 2 for 3. Singled and doubled so far. Yes, he is halfway to the cycle.
Haven't had a chance to talk about Coverdale's numbers coming into the day, but 418 on the year coming into the night.
As the 0-1, he started to go. They're going to check him, and he did not go. And it's not on that double that he had. He did come around to score in the top of the 5th. Here's 1-1 pitch from Rollinger to Coverdale. That one will skip to the backstop. To third base will be Iverson. And now he's 90 feet away from making it a 10-2 ball game.
For Coverdale, 56 hits, 134 at bats on the year, 9 doubles. He's second on the team in hits, 9 doubles, second on the team, 4 triples, second on the team, 29 RBIs, third on the team, leads the team in runs scored at 47 to go with 15 walks on that 418 average.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Coverdale will ground it to the shortstop. Fielded. The throw will come home, and Iverson will slide in safely as it was caught by Long, but it took 1 hop, and it's now a 10-2 lead here for Post State, an RBI fielder's choice for Coverdale.
Long caught the 1 hopper there. The infield was playing in on the grass. Long caught the 1 hopper and kind of rushed the throw home maybe just a little bit, and he kind of handcuffed Long behind the plate, and Iverson was able to slide around Long at home plate, and Post State now has a 10-2 lead.
Coverdale takes off for a second. The throw to second is not in time as the pitch was high for ball 1. And now Post State here with 1 down in the top of the 6th. They have that, what would be the 10-run rule batter up to the plate, although they'd have to get a 0 in the top of the 6th if Gordon comes around to score as well with Coverdale. 1-0 pitch. Here's a ground ball. Fielded by the pitcher. And a nice play there by Rollinger. He'll throw to first for the second out. And then he'll bring up Matt Lusk.
Elliott Life and Bennett Dean getting warm down in the bullpen for Post State. So just as insurance in case you want to have every arm available and warm and ready to go. Jake Mayer, you got to expect, is probably kind of come out and at least start the 6th inning for the 8s.
And now, you don't want to just say, well, we're going to go with we're just going to take somebody out of Mayer's throwing well, but we want to try and save him for Friday. You don't want to take him out of the ball game as
Rollinger, he's kind of holding his eye. I wonder if on that ground ball, the way that it hit, because there's a strip of agrolime that runs from home plate to the pitcher's mound, and I kind of wonder if maybe when that ground ball that Gordon hit maybe kicked up a piece of clay or a piece of agrolime, and Rollinger got something in the eye, but it looks like maybe he's going to be okay and going to be able to continue.
So after that quick visit, and probably does not go as a mound visit to from the Harrisburg coaching staff. First pitch to Lusk is missed low for ball 1. But go back to that point, like you want to still win this ball game, and if you use up a pitcher where you can't throw Friday, then that's the case. But you also kind of think, hey, if Mayer gets to a point, maybe we can't get him out because we have those the weapons of the bullpen to try and have everybody ready for Friday except for the two starters. A ground ball to the short. Kogel will feel the throw to first is in time, and that will retire the side here in the top of the sixth. 2-run score in the inning on just one hit. There were no errors, and one man left on base. We have played 5.5. It is a 10-2 lead here for Post State over Harrisburg. You listen to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here, the bottom of the sixth inning, and it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Weedy, Metzger, and Long. Who reaches base, it'll then be Jack Rayburn as Jake Mayer is on for his second inning of work. First pitch, and is over for strike one. And Mayer, after striking out, so I guess he's only faced one batter. This is the second batter now he's facing, and Zeb Weedy as he struck out the one man he faced. One pitch. That one will bounce in. It's now 1-1.
A couple of quick score updates, John. In Brandon, that game has gone to the sixth inning. Brandon Valley has broke that open. It's now 9-1 over Mitchell. So if that score holds, they will play a third game tomorrow. Post 22 has moved their lead out over Post 320. They are now up 8-0 in the top of the fifth.
So with that,
top of the fourth, excuse me.
So if both those scores hold up, Post 22 would advance to the state tournament. And as Greg said, Brandon Valley would force a game on Tuesday, tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 as the 1-2 just is a bit upstairs and it's now 2-2. This Harrisburg team, they haven't had any shortage of runners on base in this ball game, but they've only scored 2 runs on one hit. 2-2. That one will miss low and get away from Hinkle. It's now 3-2.
And we'll go back and maybe talk a little bit about the ability of Coach White to manipulate and maneuver this pitching staff. He's got a lot of arms he can use, and that has been something that not every Pierre squad has been able to do over the years, and so especially in this kind of situation with the pitch counts being what they are, trying to maybe think ahead, and you don't want to go too far ahead, but maybe trying to think ahead and see what kind of pitching you may have available come Friday or Saturday. He's got an ability to utilize a number of different arms and get out of different situations with that depth.
Leadoff man walks in Weedy. The first pitch to Metzger is outside for ball one. He's 0 for 2 with the 2 called third strikes. Coach White now will make his way out and talk with Jake Mayer. I mean, we have seen 12 guys be stranded on base in 5 innings for Harrisburg. It's just been, I mean, you look at the box score, the box score for this Harrisburg hitters. I mean, there's nothing but walks and strikeouts. There's a couple of ground balls. There's been 3 ground balls in this game. There's been everything else has been a walk or a strikeout and 1 hit. I mean, that's really what I'm looking at here. I guess there's one pop up. That's incredible. This is the 4th time through the order, and we have 1 hit, 4 balls put into play, 5 balls put into play if you count the hit. The 1-0 is upstairs and it's 2-0. Everything is built of strikeouts or walks. I've I don't think I've ever seen something like this before.
Especially not at this level. It might be something you see down at a little league kind of level, but certainly not at a Legion level, especially for a team that is ahead 10-2.
That one is flown out to center field and caught for the first out. I got a little bit of oohs and ahs out of the crowd. Everybody thought that was going to go a little farther than what it did, but Matt Luss barely had the range to his right to make the catch, and there's one down here. Maybe if I talk about it enough, I start complaining about it enough, we'll see some more balls put into play for Harrisburg. Here's Timon Long, who does have the one hit. He is 1 for 2, and wouldn't you know it that he's got a base hit. He struck out looking, and he also has walked. So he's put a ball in play once, and that's been the only thing he's done. As it's a 1-0 count, too long. On deck is Jack Rayburn, who has not put the ball in play yet this game. 1-0 pitch. That one's fouled back, and it's now 1-1.
Yeah, walks, strikeouts. What'd you say? 5 balls put in play through 5 1/3 innings so far.
That was the 6th ball put into play through 5 1/3. There's a ball put into play. That one's skied into left field. Iverson's coming a long way in. He'll make the catch, and there's now 2 down. Might be the first time we've seen 2 balls put into play in an inning. No, we did have one in the bottom of the 3rd. It's the only time that's happened.
But maybe we're beginning to see a little bit of frustration set in on the amongst the Harrisburg batters. Just they came in, I think, with pretty high expectations. They've got Chase Mason and Will Simmons going 1-2 on the mound. A team that again going against a team that they had split with just a couple of weeks ago, and so I think they came in. Feeling pretty good about themselves, and they just got stymied in game number 1. Kind of had some things go against them late in the game. The walk-off single for Stout, and then in this game just squandered any number of different opportunities, and like you said, just have not been able to put the ball in play at the right time.
0-1 pitch, Mayer falls to the ground, and it ends up being low, and it's now 1-1. Kind of 25 at-bats that have not seen a ball and put in play. 14 walks or hit by pitches and 11 strikeouts between all the Harrisburg hitters. Count is now 1-2. And we're 4.5 times through the order in here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-2 count with 2 outs here at the bottom of the 6th. 10-2 is their score. Post State leads by 8. You're going to tell me that Post State's going to walk or hit 14 batters and only allow 2 runs on those 14 walks or hit by hit batters. I'd probably look at you like you're crazy.
And to be up 10-2, one of the key things is so far through 7 innings in the first game and 5 2/3 here in the second game, they've only committed 1 error.
2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, and there's another strikeout for Jake Mayer, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and only 1 man left on base this inning. We've played 6 complete. It is a 10-2 lead here for Pierre over Harrisburg. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. We welcome you back here to Hyatt Stadium here in the top of the 7th. Glad you're still with us here. Joe Winkler alongside Greg Dean as Ryan Kruger says to cue the fat lady. He just texted me and said, cue the fat lady. They still got 3 more outs to go. He's still sitting in the stand, so he's not on his way back home yet. He hasn't left the ballpark yet. But it's a 10-2 lead here for Poa State. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. Jack Van Camp, Lincoln Keenels, and Jake Mayer will be the first three hitters of the inning. If they can add a little bit more insurance to an 8-run lead, 10-2, looking for a sweep, and would punch the second ticket to the state tournament. Rapid City Post 22, they're getting close to getting their ticket punch, and then it'll be looks like going to be game 3 for Brandon Valley and Mitchell. The only game 3 of the region and super region will be between Brandon Valley and Mitchell.
But I'll tell you, John, I like this 3-game series format. I think it really gives you the best opportunity to get the best teams to the state tournament, whether this year being a 4-team state tournament or if we get back to what we consider to be normal, an 8-team state tournament. I think this setup really does provide you the best opportunity.
There's a chopper to the first baseman, Mason. He'll take to the bag himself for the first out. Leadoff man is retired here and open up the top of the 7th. And I agree with you. And you look at where we're sitting at here in the super regions. What would have been the region tournament this year? We had Pierre, Mitchell, Post 22, Post 320. We had 4 of the 8 teams would have been in the regional region that we usually have every year. So that tells you the good region that Pierre has been in for the last several years, and why this format is. I mean, obviously this format's a little bit different because of the coronavirus situation, and you have just a region round of best of 3, and then the 8 winners go. But the fact that you could potentially see almost everybody from that region that Pierre is in to go to the state tournament next year, if that's the case, because of how good this region has been, as there's another ground out and there's now 2 away here at the top of the 7th.
And I'll just use an example. Back in 2017, when Pierre won the state title, you had 3 teams in the state tournament that year. Post 22 hosted the state tournament, so they got the automatic entry into the state tournament. But Post 320 out of Rapid City, who I believe finished 3rd the year before in 2016, brought back like 6 or 7 super seniors, had high expectations, didn't even get out of the region that year because they were beaten by Post 8 and Post 18 out of Mitchell, who Post 8 and Post 18 ended up being the 2 teams playing for the championship that year.
Jake Mayer is hit by a pitch, and he will head to first base. And that'll bring up Cade Hinkle, the catcher. And Rollinger plugged Mayer right in the back. And so that'll bring up Cade Hinkle. Oh, Dirk saying told me to get her singing too.
And it looks like Lincoln Keenholz now making his way down to the bullpen. He may, depending upon what they end up doing with Jake Mayer, I suspect that they will probably start the 7th inning with Mayer. But I suspect if he gets in any kind of trouble, we may see Lincoln Keenholz come in to shut the door.
First pitch to Hinkle is missed low for ball 1. He is 0 for 2. He drew a walk in his last plate appearance and ended up scoring in the top of the 6th. Only missing Steve Gray for the trifecta of the Pierre coaches that sent me a text about getting getting the fat lady singing. Here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a swing and a miss by Hinkle, and it's now 2-1.
Well, you might get a text from him before the night's over.
I think that's a good possibility. And those 3 guys, they have to love and hate watching this right now, as it's now 2-2. Not because they don't want this team to do good, it's because they missed out on a chance for this team to do good, where they could have won 2 state championships each year, high school and in Legion. Obviously, there's still a long time to go for that state championship as Hinkle swings and misses and strikes out, and that will end the top of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Post State 3 outs away from a trip to the state tournament. They lead at Harrisburg 10-2. You're listening to Post State Baseball. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Bottom of the 7th inning. It will be Jake Mayer to at least start the bottom of the 7th. As it will be 7, 8, and 9. Chase Lucas, Jack Tigan, and Ethan Rollinger. If anybody gets on base, it'll go back up to Chase Mason.
Collectively, Lucas, Luce, and Rollinger are a collective 0 for 5 on the night. So good spot to be in if you're the eights. 7, 8, and 9, up 8 runs, 3 outs away from going to state tournament.
So Mayer will look for a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch is outside for ball 1. And the eights, again, they will play Friday. As the opponent will still yet to be determined, as that one will be fouled back, and it's now 1-1.
With Renner winning, like you had alluded to earlier, they would be the bottom seed and would play post 22 unless Mitchell wins tomorrow. So right now, the way it sits, assuming Pierre closes this game out, they would play either Renner or Brandon Valley in game 1 of the game in the first round of the state tournament.
1-2 pitch is looked at for strike 3, and there is the first strikeout of the bottom of the 7th inning, and now post 8, 2 outs away from a trip to the state tournament. And it looks like post 22 is going to easily make its way into the state tournament, and Mitchell and Brandon Valley will play tomorrow, unless Mitchell makes a huge comeback late in the ball game over there. Count is 1-0 here to Jack Tigan. His first at-bat here in game number 2. In game number 1, he went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It's now 2-0 as that one gets away from Hankel.
Tigan hitting 169 on the year, just 14 hits and 83 at-bats. So again, right now for post 8, you just got to throw strikes, Jake Mayer.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Upstairs, 3-0. Post 22, they're winning 12-0 now over post 320. So they're about 3 outs away from advancing to the state tournament as well. Brandon Valley is still up 9-1 right now. 3-0 pitch is outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Bring up Ethan Rollinger. Here with 1 down, Chase Mason is on deck.
As the moon starts to rise over the left field foul pole, looks like a beautiful full moon, and hopefully that bodes well for post 8's chances.
First pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1 to Rollinger. He's walked twice, and also a swing and a miss, swing strikeout. 0-1 pitch, inside edge is now 0-2.
No activity down in the post 8 bullpen right now, so right now this looks like it's Jake Mayer's game to close.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. There's another strikeout, and now post 8 is a out away from a trip to the state tournament. Boy, the momentum that post 8 carried from game 1 to game 2, they scored 1 run in the 5th, 6th, and 7th to win the ball game on a walk-off single in game 1, and then they came out and scored 4 runs in the first inning, got a big 0. And it's been all post 8 as Chase Mason swings and misses the first pitch. And there's now 2 strikes away from heading to either somewhere for the state tournament. Here's the 0-1 outside, 1-1.
Yeah, and you just we'll talk about it in the post game, but just tip your cap to the way that this team has battled tonight, both coming from behind in the first game and just facing a lot of adversity.
Mason scorches this one out to right field. And that is going to be foul, as that had easily a home run distance. And I'm glad I didn't park my car out there past the right field foul pole, because I don't know if my car would have survived that one. That was a shot.
One great big hailstone. One singular hailstone.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and post 8 is headed back to the state tournament. They get a sweep of Harrisburg, and they will head this weekend for another opportunity at a state championship. They win 10-2 here in game number 2. Back in 2 minutes to wrap this one up. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Heinz Stadium and Post State, they are on their way to a state tournament as they beat Harrisburg in a doubleheader. They win 3-2 in a walk-off single, and then a little less dramatic in game two. They win 10-2 over Harrisburg for the sweep, and they are the second team to advance into the state tournament along with Renner here this coming weekend. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean. 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Post State, 2 runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for Harrisburg. But the big thing for Harrisburg, 14 men left on base here in game two.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it earlier in the game that if you're the Harrisburg coaching staff, that's a number that's going to gnaw on you for about 9 months, because you always remember your last game, and Harrisburg had every kind of opportunity to not only stay even with Post State, but potentially break this thing open if they get a couple of key hits at a couple of key moments in this game. And you know, tip your cap to Garrett Stout tonight. I mean, he didn't have his best stuff. You know, if you look at his pitch count and you look at his pitch count to strikes, 104 pitches tonight for Garrett Stout, only 47 strikes, 9 walks, 8 strikeouts. But every time in the 4 innings that he pitched, 4+ innings that he pitched, that he got into trouble, he was able to figure a way out of there, either through some help from his defense or just by getting a big pitch when he needed it. And then give a lot of credit to the bullpen arms that came in. Aaron Booth comes in, pitches out of a tough jam in the 5th inning, gives him 2/3 of an inning, and then Jake Mayer comes in and closes the door with 2 1/3 innings. Didn't allow a hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Big night for the Pierre bullpen, but congratulations to Coach Brian White and Pierre Post State, headed back to the state tournament. And I tell you what, this was a hard-earned victory, hard-earned couple of victories.
Wow, that first game, I mean, you know, I told everybody, you know, everybody that kind of talked to me about the game or whoever I talked to, I said, you know, I just don't see this being a sweep. I don't see one team being able to win back-to-back games against the other. And that's not any discredit to Pierre for doing that, because, I mean, that's even more credit to Pierre for doing that. But just how good Harrisburg is, how good this Pierre team is, I just thought there's no way this doesn't go 3. And Post State got the win over their number 1 guy and got winning a walk-off single, and then came out and used the momentum into game 2. And I mean, if you're going to say there's a way for Post State to sweep, that's probably how I would have said it. They got to win a walk-off and then take advantage of the momentum, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, and again, you come in and you look at the stats on both of these teams. I mean, and they're very evenly matched teams. I mean, Pierre came into the night 29-16. Harrisburg comes in 28-16. We talked about the fact that even though Harrisburg has struck out a lot more, over 100 times more than Post 8 in the year, they also walked a lot more. They were able to generate base runners. They hit the ball a long ways, 40 home runs on the year. Post 8 just plays a lot of small ball. They've stolen about 118 bases coming into the night. They added several to that total tonight. But when you put all that together, when you look at runs scored, and these teams played almost the exact same number of games, there was only 16 runs difference between the two teams over a 40-plus game season. That's not very much. And so Post 8 came in tonight, and I think it showed just how important playing at Hyde Stadium was for Post 8. I mean, the home crowd was huge tonight. There was a big crowd tonight, a lot of support for Post 8. You could just feel that momentum up here in the booth, and congratulations to Coach White and the Eights. This is a really good way to go into the state tournament, and especially for this group of baseball players and for the seniors who, like we said, didn't get a chance to play in the high school season, for them to be able to cap their baseball careers for most of them. A trip to the state tournament. What a fantastic opportunity.
And they will play Friday. The game time is yet to be determined and the place yet to be determined, but they will play one game Friday, and then we'll play on Saturday, win or lose. And also determine what time they play on Saturday. But if they make the state championship, then they will play on Sunday as well. An opportunity to maybe win that second state championship since the first one since 2017, as they will be one of the final four teams left in the season of this 2020 crazy year. And 15 walks, along with a combination of 15 walks and hit by pitches, hit batters, and then 15 strikeouts in the ball game for Harrisburg. 30 times guys came to the plate and did not put the ball in play, which results in 14 guys being left on base, and Post 8 able to win 10-2 and have a throw one hitter somehow.
I think if you were to look up on Baseball Reference and look at any team that gave up 15 free passes, walks, and hit batters, and then match that with 15 strikeouts and won the game by 8 runs, I think you'd have to go deep into history to find a similar kind of game. I mean, just a really, an odd game, a fun game, especially when the fact that Post 8 comes out on the right side of this one. But again, just a fun game to call. John, thanks for inviting me along up here. Looks like we got a couple more games to go.
That's right. We're guaranteed at least 2. Love to have, I guess at minimum 3, because you can win all 3 games and you win the state championship just like that. But minimum of 2 games left to go this coming weekend, and potentially could see maybe up to 4 or 5 games before we're done with all this. But one more weekend of 2020 baseball, and glad and hope that you join us on Friday, Saturday, and hopefully Sunday as well for Post 8, a chance to win a state championship. That'll wrap things up for us here tonight from Hyde Stadium. Thanks to Spencer Kelly back at the station. For Greg Dean to my right, I'm John Winkler. Back on the air Friday. Make sure you check out Facebook, Twitter, and listen on the morning show to figure out what time they will play on Friday and who they will play on Friday as well. Again, final scores tonight as Harrisburg, as Pierre sweeps Harrisburg. They win 3-2 in a walk-off single in Game 1 and win 10-2 in Game number 2 as we say good night from Hyde Stadium. Thanks, Spence.